Hey everyone, my name is Vince Gelman. Thanks for being here with me today. I am creating this video from very sacred ground, one of the places I go to relax, to connect to my heart, my soul, to rejuvenate. It's called the Four Lakes Trail, and it's about an hour north of where I live in Vancouver. And it's a stunning place, as you might have guessed from the name of this trail system. There are four lakes, and you can swim in them, and it's just gorgeous water surrounded by mountains and trees. It's just beautiful. So I want to speak to you about Sophia's black womb and being initiated into Sophia's black womb. And you might be wondering right off the top, who is Sophia? Well, Sophia is another name for God. It's another name for the Divine Mother of all life, prime creator. We find the word Sophia actually in the word philosophy, as in philosophia. It's a word that's used in my interpretation. It's used more in ancient times. It was used more in ancient times to describe God. So it's a beautiful. I actually love the name Sophia. It's very beautiful. It's very feminine. Has a very lovely feel to the name. So to me, it just makes sense that we would use that very beautiful rhythmic name to describe the Divine Mother of all life. So Sophia's black womb is the primordial space, black space, dark space, empty space, from which everything was birthed and everything shall return. And so included in what was birthed there was light. The first ray of light, which was pearlescent white light. And from that pearlescent white light, all of the Divine Mothers, all of Sophia's multi-ray transmission, all her colors were broadcasted from that primordial white light. In biblical text, there's a reference to Jesus as the one begotten Son. But there's confusion there, because actually the one begotten Son was not a man, but the one begotten Son was Christ consciousness. It was not Jesus the man, it was Christ light. You can also call it Buddha light if you want. So that one pearlescent white light that was birthed from the Holy of Holies of the black womb of Sophia, that is the one begotten Son. So because we are a perfect holographic mirror of Sophia, we are a perfect mirror of her on all measures, we too have a dark womb within us. So we are made in the image and likeness of God. And religion has it backwards, has it inverted, by saying that God is made in the image and likeness of man. And they create a man portrayed as God with a white beard floating up in heaven. So that is one of the heights of arrogance, one of the heights of blasphemy, is to create God in the image and likeness of man. That's an inversion. And it's one of many inversions that dark, troubled souls have created and are creating right now in our world. It's an inversion of truth. So the truth is that we are made in the exact image and likeness of Sophia, of God, on all accounts. Nothing is missing in us. We are a walking, living, breathing cosmos in full. If you take the smallest subatomic particle in us, if you take an electron or a quark, you take some micro particle in us, that electron, that quark, is a perfect holographic mirror of the cosmos. So, so nothing is missing. We are holograms within holograms within holograms. And within us, within our soul blueprint, we have a black womb that mirrors the Divine Mother's black womb, and that is inextricably linked, connected, at one with. We are at one with her black womb. I hope this is making sense so far. And so what that means is that actually we have the same capacity to birth realities as she does. That's how powerful we are. We have the same capacity to birth planets, stars, species, entire universes. That's how powerful we are. And this time right now in our world, this really powerful initiation that we are in, this global awakening, is part of that, is of the purpose of these times, these very turbulent times, is to wake up to how powerful we are, how magnificent we are, how much we are a perfect mirror of the Divine One. So we have Sophia's black womb within us, for we are Sophia. We are Sophia. We are God. Jesus said, "Ye are gods." So we are gods. So right now in our world, what we're doing is we're being initiated. One way to understand what's happening with the world right now is that we are being initiated into the wisdom and possibilities. And I'll add the word peace, only found in darkness. So darkness is a powerful initiator. It's the dark night of the soul. It's when things are not what they seem. It's when we move into a time of deep questioning, where things fall apart, where we're forced to let go of certain things, ideas, beliefs, people, places, things, where we what we thought true is no longer. This is happening in the world, as you can see, at a mass scale, and it is accelerating. What people thought true about the government, they're realizing is not true. What people thought true about the pandemic, they're realizing is not true. People are being forced to awaken. They're being forced to let go. They're being forced to question things that they normally would not have questioned. But the question ultimately is, who am I now? Who am I given all that is occurring around me? That really is the ultimate question. Who am I? Who am I when things suddenly aren't what I thought? And so the dark night initiates us into that period of deep questioning. I call it, metaphorically, I call it the winter season of our life. The winter season. So in the northern hemisphere, during Christmas, we actually do the opposite, or leading up to Christmas, we do the opposite of what this season really calls from us. This season is a time to slow down. It's a time to self-reflect. It's a time to hibernate. We have bears here. You know, you might see a bear walking behind me, a black bear. And they know what to do during this season. They go and hibernate. They know how to work with that rhythm. They know how to live in that rhythm. And yet during Christmas in the northern hemisphere, when the dark season gets longer and the dark hours get longer, we do the opposite. We get busier, we get more frenetic, we have more Christmas parties to go to, we have shopping to do, we're caught up in traffic jams, we're going to the airport, we're stuck in airports with long waits, frenetic family gatherings, chaotic family gatherings, conflicted, bickering family gatherings. It's very much the opposite of what the winter season is about. So the winter season, the dark night, summons us to slow and to still. So that's what Sophia's black womb is. It's the place that we slow and still into, because the essence, the nature of Sophia's black womb is actually stillness. So when you listen to masters speak, they talk about stillness. And I think Eckhart Tolle, one of our contemporary great spiritual teachers, has a book called Stillness Speaks. So it is that 0 point of stillness. It's that 0 point of stillness. It's the place that transcends all beginnings and endings. It's the place that we surrender into and finally accept or give into the fact that maybe we don't know. And in surrendering to not knowing, we realize it's safe to not know. And in realizing that it's safe to not know and feeling that and accepting that place of not knowing, we remember viscerally how much we long to rest in not knowing, in not having to know. What a strange idea that actually we long to not know. And it's actually a very natural soul state to not know. It's actually, in my opinion, what the soul longs for is to rest in not knowing. To rest in not knowing, to feel bathed in not knowing. And I'm reminded of a young child who rests in his mother's arms. And one of the things that happens when a child rests in their mother's arms and fully rests, fully lets go into those arms, fully rests against their heart, is that they surrender any need to know. They know all is well and all is taken care of. They don't have to figure things out. Mom's got it. Mom's got it. It's taken care of. I don't need to know. I don't have to figure it out. Mom's taking care of me right now. I don't need to know. So now, as a child, I can give my mom my full weight. I can fully let go in her arms and become limp and loose and still and at peace. And I can especially do this if I feel a peaceful presence emanating from her, if I can feel her calming, soothing energy. Isn't that what we long for deep inside, is to have someone hold us and say, I got it, I got you, you don't have to figure it out, I'll take care of it, you don't need to know right now, I'll know for you. How much have you longed to feel that? How much have you longed to go limp and loose into someone's arms and feel that reassuring presence that they got you? So you can drop in. You can drop in, you can let go, and you can not know. And so part of this initiation is to remember that we don't have to know, and that it's safe to not know. You see, our survival when we're scared as children in many ways depends on actually knowing. Because if I don't trust that my mom or dad's got it, I gotta get it. If I can't trust that they're gonna take control, I gotta take control. If I don't trust that I'm safe being me, as I naturally am, then I have to be a certain way. I have to be certain about how to be, to make sure I'm safe, loved, approved of. I need to make certain that I'm smart, or funny, or upright, or quiet, well-behaved, meek, silent. I need to be a certain way to make sure I'm safe. So now I'm calculating my mind about how to be to mitigate any negative consequence. And then I go to the school system and I'm valued based on how certain I am about things, how much I know. I'm not valued based on how much I don't know. I'm not valued for how much I can bathe in wonder, how much I can be in curiosity. See, if we're gonna be in curiosity or wonder, we have to suspend knowing. We have to suspend certainty. We have to embrace a level of uncertainty. So in the school system, we are further conditioned to know. Our value, our worth gets conditioned based on how much information we have in us and how much we apply that information, or how well. So from cradle to grave, in many ways, we are taught to know. Knowledge is power, we are taught. And I'm not here to say you should never know. I need to know how to create this video. I need to know how to set up the technological equipment. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I personally feel that in all of us, there's a longing, an instinctual longing. There's a fly on my forehead. There's an instinctual longing to not know and to rest in not knowing. And that actually is our primordial peace. That's home. That's home. And so what's happening in the world right now is we're being initiated into not knowing. Because increasingly, things are not making sense. There's increasing amounts of conflicting information. We are living in many inversions of reality right now, many inversions of reality. Things are getting twisted. So, bottom line, we are being initiated into letting go of what we thought true. And it's a very, with all dark nights of the soul, it's a good word to describe them is that they're certainly vulnerable, and they're also very disorienting. And they can be scary as well. Really, they can be quite scary. They can be scary, vulnerable, very disorienting. Because really what's at stake is, again, who am I? That's really the heart of it. It's what we thought true. I wrote a poem one time, and it's a long time ago. It felt like it wrote me. And it's called Can You Be Here in the Emptiness? And there's one part of the poem that goes, when you stop searching and finally let go of all your ambitions and all you think you know, of what you sought after and what you thought true, of everything you are and everything you do, there's nothing more for you here now. There's nothing left to seek all around. Can you be here in the emptiness? So emptiness is a great way to describe this period. It's an emptying. And in our society, we really value filling more than emptying, keeping more than letting go, knowing, which is accumulating knowledge, versus not knowing. And of course, we train and condition our children to value those things as well, because we, in many ways, we do our best to avoid that emptiness. We do our best to avoid the void. We do our best to avoid the void. And so that's another way of defining this dark night is the void. So there's peace in that still point of emptiness. And there's wisdom and possibilities only found in darkness. There's wisdom and possibilities only found in darkness if we give ourselves to the dark night. I remember in 2007, I was so rock bottom financially. I was so rock bottom on every front, on every front. I reached basically the lowest point I could possibly have reached. I had 5 credit cards that were, I was reaching capacity on my 5th credit card. I was lonely. I was just so desperate. And I just finally, I reached rock bottom and I let go and I surrendered right into the heart of this void, of this dark night. I gave up. And in surrendering, I opened to all these incredible synchronicities that finally showed up. I finally just gave myself to it. I stopped fighting it, and then the light came in. And then the light shone into my life, just like there. and I was shown a new way. It was actually incredibly miraculous, and I'm not doing the story justice with this short description, but so when we give ourselves to the darkness, and when what we're doing is we're giving ourselves to a rite of passage of intense transformation. It is the caterpillar that goes into the womb, the black womb. The caterpillar goes into its black womb. That black womb is actually a tomb, isn't it? It's a tomb. It's there for its death, and it's there for its rebirth into the butterfly. In ancient mystery school traditions, in Egypt certainly, the initiates at the last stage of their initiation would be placed in a sarcophagus in the Great Pyramid, and they would be placed there for up to 72 hours, and they would be in there in the dark, and that sarcophagus was their tomb, and it was their womb. It was where part of them died, and they were reborn. And that's why the caterpillar butterfly metaphor is so dear to me, because it says so many things. There is no butterfly without a willingness to go into that death rebirth cycle. There is no butterfly without going into the dark womb tomb. And there's no rebirthing of humanity unless we go through this stage that we're in now, where we're going through the dark night, where we're being forced into our own tomb and womb, our own death and birth cycle. So the dark night is where we go to metamorphose, where we metamorphosize in that. Is it metamorphose or metamorphosize? We alter dramatically, we transfigure. And so this is what I call an initiation in Sophia's black womb, into the wisdom and possibilities of the black womb. And remember, we have this black womb within us. And so what we're doing is we're touching into it, we're feeling into, we're opening into that dark resonance, that quietness, that stillness, that emptying within. We're going into the darkness within. If we look at the Chinese symbol of the duality, this Chinese symbol of duality, the yin and the yang, there's the yin, black, feminine, there's the yang, white, masculine. So it shows that within all of us there is the black and the white. Okay, so within us is that black womb. We have that within us. It's a place of coming home to stillness, and it's the place of coming home to the Divine Mother, where we rest in her arms and we fully let go into not knowing. And the truth is, the more you know along your spiritual journey, the more you realize you don't know. That's wisdom. You surrender to the fact that you actually don't know anything. It's a mystery, isn't it? We call this a mystery. We call life a mystery. So to enter the mystery, to really embrace it, the mystery of our own heart, our own soul, we have to be in the mystery. We have to let go of all the certainties that we've held about ourselves in life that get in the way. We have to be willing to embrace uncertainty and to still into it, to quiet into it, to say, I don't know. So what I invite you to consider is that if you can let this into your heart just a little bit, is that it's safe to not know. What if it's safe to not know? What if it's safe? Maybe you can let that into your heart just 10% or 5%, that it's safe to not know. Remember, we've been trained to find safety in knowing. Our survival, in many ways, has depended on knowing, getting it right, doing it right, being a certain way. And that in our heart, we long to surrender and rest into the peace of not knowing. Of I don't know and I'm safe there. I don't know and everything is taken care of. Because that's what the mother communicates to the child when she's holding him. Without words, her heartbeat, her breath, her presence says to him, all is well, and all is taken care of. All is well, and all is taken care of. So this Sunday, August 7th at noon Pacific, I'm leading another online healing and activation ceremony, and it's called Sophia's Black Womb. And what this ceremony is about healing all that veils you from this dark wisdom, these dark possibilities from that peace, all the trauma and programming that you have within you, transmuting that, and activating Sophia's black womb within you so that it becomes more present in your human awareness. It's a 75-minute ceremony and it's 77 Canadian. If you can't make that time, you can still receive the healing and activation in full. I'll put a link in the description. And I think that's enough. I think that I'm going to leave it at that. So please share, please like, please comment, please subscribe. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And thank you as always for watching. And I wish you the best during this incredible pivotal time of initiation that we're in together.